Welcome back to Modern Homestead Alaska. Today I'm going to share with you my over 600-pound Azure order for April 2022. And then I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for storing this amount of food, what you can do with it. I'm going to reveal to you how much I spent. And then in Alaska we pay shipping and it has gone way up. So we're gonna try and figure out, is it still worth it for me to buy Azure up here? Can I get these items someplace else with a lower shipping cost? We'll work on it together. Join me today. Let's get into April's Azure order. Welcome to our vlog. If you're new around here, we're the Milnes family. We just moved to Alaska in July. We're building a modern homestead outside of Wasilla, Alaska. That's my awesome husband, Aaron. I am Jessica, a stay-at-home wife and mom, and our second son, Caleb, decided to come with us, along with our daughter, Cody Ann, and the youngest of our family, Wyatt. We brought our two dogs, Tipper and Daisy, and got a new addition, the Alaska dog, Roberto. Okay, oh my goodness. I just finished recording my Azure Haul, which is the video that you're watching, and while I was checking kind of the content and what I had done, I got this email, and let me just read it to you. Azure's headquarters destroyed by fire, no injuries. The headquarters of Azure Standard, the nation's premier independent distributor of organic and healthy food, was destroyed by fire overnight. There were no injuries. The cause of the fire is unknown and under investigation. The loss of the facility and the impact on company-wide operations is being assessed and expected to be limited and temporary. No other Azure Standard facilities were affected. And they enclosed a picture. Whew, full press release, so on. So I encourage you, as I show you this haul, number one, keep them in your prayers. I know that they are a Christian company that it's kind of private, but they do such amazing things by supplying for us these organic, natural, healthy things. And I love that, as horrible as everything going on in the Ukraine is, and them being kind of the breadbasket, that Azure's wheat doesn't come from there. So they've still been able to help supply this country, at least, with amazing products. So as we roll into this video, I couldn't go on without saying, hey, here is literally the latest update. Keep them in your prayers. Let's get into the video. Here we go. All right, welcome. Before we actually get into the order, I want to show you what we go through to get the orders up here in Alaska. My beautiful daughter and I went and got this Azure order. Take a quick look at getting Azure, and then we'll get into what we got. So we are on our way to get our Azure order, but we had to run by our favorite coffee shop. Did you know on Frugal Fit Mom today I heard that frugal people don't spend their money on stuff like this?
Yeah.
Because you can make it at home.
Yeah, we could, but we don't, so.
I just feel like I need a pick-me-up. My eyes are tired.
Yeah, me too.
Guess what? Where is it?
What?
I got an award at my daughter's banquet. What does this say, Cody?
Participation.
That's not what it says. It says, Team Mom! Haha! Beat that, suckers. and the help of our host, got our Azure order in the truck, and I will show you what we got when we get home. Let's go. All right, as we get into this order, if you're curious how Azure works, about all the different sections that I consider pantry, how we stock and store things in our homestead, I'm actually had created a video link that has that entire series in one link, and you just click on it in the description box below, and it will take you to all of the videos that have anything to do with my pantry, with Azure, with stocking, and how we're doing it here on the homestead. So check that out and get caught up on everything we've already done, what we're looking to do in the future. I'll continue to add stuff to that link. So let's get into my baking section. So last week or so that we were together, I was working on the baking section and finishing it out. And I had said to you, I have an Azure order coming, and there are some things that are missing and how they get stored. Watch that video and you'll know how these are gonna get put into my pantry. But here's the items that I got from Azure today that go in my baking section. So we have the sweet and dried cranberries. So I don't stock a year's worth of these. I should probably figure out how many of these we go through in a year, but it's a lot. So this is a 5-pound bag of sweet and dried cranberries, 5 pounds of dates, 2.5 pounds of shredded coconut, a gallon of vanilla extract. My mom has made me some beautiful vanilla extract from scratch. When I go see her, I'm gonna bring that home with me, but we bake so much that we actually run through this. So anyway, the molasses, because I would like to start making my own brown sugar. So we have some molasses, gallon of that. I always have honey. It's in my baking section in my pantry. However, I order honey every single time I order from Azure, whether it's the different kinds, you know, clover, or one of the berries, or the orange blossom, or something like that. But this is our favorite, which is just the plain Jane clover honey from Azure. This I got, this is a first timer for me. If you've used this and you have any tips or tricks for me, let me know. So I was trying to keep buttermilk because we like a sourdough buttermilk biscuit. Well, I don't use buttermilk for very many things or very often, and so it was either going bad or I was freezing it. It wasn't defrosting by the time that I thought, oh, I want to make this. So I thought I would try this buttermilk, not instant, powder, and see if maybe this is a better option for me. Now, the expiration date is 12/22 of this year. So it's April, so it has a fairly short expiration date. Is this something I can store in Mylar? How can I extend the life? Should this be put in the freezer? Anything you'll know about this, let me know, because I don't know if I'll go through this amount before the expiration date. Is it good past that? Lots of questions I have for you. So let me know on that item. Okay, whole cloves. We finally got our dill. This would have been with the seasons and spices video that we did. I couldn't get it at the time. Nutmeg, pumpkin pie spice. Yes, pumpkin pie spice is a combination of cinnamon, cloves, ginger, and nutmeg, and you can make it. I buy it because we use it a ton, and we like to top coffee and other things with it already mixed together like this. So I buy a little bit of that. The dill again was with seasoning and spices, but we got that. Allspice, clove powder, tiny 4-ounce package. It's the smallest package they sell. Allspice whole. And then a little bit of cayenne because I'm about to be making some cowboy candy, and we use cayenne in our cowboy candy. So that is what is gonna go in the baking, seasoning, and spice section. These will get stored in the half-gallon jars. These will get stored in this kind of jar as the backup, and then they go up there as my regular spices that I'm pulling from in my working kitchen pantry. And then all of this gets stored there. Hang on just a second. All right, the next section of what I bought is fairly simple. It's the odds and ends. You always get the Azure catalog with your order. I like that I can kind of make a list in it as I'm either browsing or ideas come to me, write it down, and then I can toss it the next month when I get my order. I got the 2-gallon Gamma Seal lids for 2-gallon pails. They were out of the 5-gallon. I had them on my list. They weren't going to ship. So instead of, applying those dollars to something that's not gonna ship, I applied the dollars to something that would, and I'll show you when we get to the next section, but I'm still on the hunt for 5-gallon bucket Gamma Seal lids. Alaska is well known for its rhubarb, and I plan on getting some Alaska rhubarb planted here in and around the house for rhubarb pie, which is always my daughter's favorite. But I saw some rhubarb seeds with Azure, and so I thought I'd give those a try for planting seeds. Let's try some rhubarb. In the odds and ends section, I got this not in this order, but it's up here, and I'm going to share why when we get to the next portion. But I put up here my Mylar bags and my oxygen absorbers. They did, when I checked, still had these available with Azure, and it is where I got them. So they're up here in preps for me to actually process my food. Everything that's taking up my entire kitchen, I can't even cook right now. So Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers you can get through Azure. So keep that in mind. They have 3 sizes. They have a quart, they have a gallon, and they have a 5-gallon. So know what you're going to store, and don't just buy Mylar bags in one size, like all 5 gallons, because you might be storing something. Like if I can store that buttermilk powder in a Mylar bag, if you tell me that, I'm gonna wanna store it, obviously not in a 5-gallon Mylar bag. So get you just different sizes, good tips and tricks there. Let's move on to the next section. All right, as I start the next section, I am truly hoping that the way that I'm doing this kind of helps it make sense to you. I know that it certainly makes sense in my brain of what I bought and where it goes in my pantry. Let me know if you like this, or if you just like a weird form where I open all the boxes and surprise, it's Christmas, let's do it together. Let me know which you prefer. This entire section is beans and peas or lentils, but those dried items that go along with that. And I'm gonna tell you what all I got. I got a 25-pound bag of pintos. In the back here, 25 pounds of baby lima beans, black beans, 25 pounds, 25 pounds navy beans, 25 pounds of yellow split peas, 25 pounds large lima beans, 25 pounds of the red lentils, 25 pounds of the green split peas, 25 pounds of chickpeas, and this was also one of the items that was sold out, and they just had one 5-pound bag when I ordered it, so I ended up getting it. I had put on there a 25-pound bag of the small red beans, which we use a lot of these for chili and other things. So I truly would like 25 pounds, but I could only get 5 pounds of it this time. A bean that I like, I'll buy this canned, but I've never actually made them from the dry beans. It's not supposed to be any different than making it. But it's really good for like a white chicken chili, something like that, and that's the cannellini beans. So anything, I make one soup that is like Italian sausage and broth and spinach, and you pour some cream in there and you use these white cannellini beans. So this is an Italian bean. Some of it will get stored in the 1 or the half-gallon jars in my pantry, and then the others will be put in Mylar bags for later. So I got 4 pounds or 4 at 34 ounces. So those. This is another bean I've literally never even tried. So I just got a 5-pound bag of it because I wasn't sure if we would like it. And let me know. It is the pink bean. So I'll look up what all it can be used. It says add some seasonings such as garlic, onions, oregano, parsley, thyme. During the cooking time, if desired, it's cooked almost identical to any other dry bean. And so I thought maybe that would be a good addition to our beans. And these, how do you say this? A-D-Z-U-K-I, adzuki. So when I looked this bean up, so this is an Asian bean where they make like bean paste, and it's generally cooked and used in a sweet way, but I found some savory recipes for it, and they had it, so I thought 5 pounds of it, let's give it a try. Let me know if you've ever tried this bean, and if you do, what is the simplest way that you cook these beans? So that is it as far as beans go that we purchased. I'm going to tell you really quick why I have so many different kinds of beans, peas, lentils, so on. They all have different vitamins and nutrients in there. So if you get on a diet where we oftentimes get, and we're eating a lot of beans and peas and so on, it breaks up the monotony of, my grandmother grew up as poor can be, and they had pinto beans 3 times a day, every single day of their life, and that is no exaggeration. She had like 12 brothers and sisters. They just had pinto beans. We have access now to so many different options, so what I like to do is kind of break it up. We'll do a split pea one week, we'll do pintos one week, we'll do black beans another week. I'll throw all of them in, not the peas, but all the different kind of beans together and make chilies, so that everything's kind of broke up a little and you're getting more balanced nutrition and vitamin content because all of the beans carry different things that you need. So diversify your food storage as far as rice and beans and grains and those longer term items, so that you have, A, you get something new to taste, and B, that you get more of a rounded diet than you would otherwise. I store these in Mylar bags. That video again is in the description box in the playlist. And I also store these in 1/2 gallon jars in my pantry. It's a section of my pantry I've never actually showed you. I'll include it. I'll include it at the end of the video. I'll show you just that one little chunk and what is up there as far as rice and beans goes, and how I store these, because I've never shown you how I actively grab from them in the house, but stay tuned to the end, that'll be there. So, right, the beans are gonna get stored today. That's why I brought up the Mylar bags and the oxygen absorbers, and I am gonna go to town. I'm going to label all of them, and then they are going to go into a 5 gallon bucket in the Mylar bag. So I'm gonna try and do double duty and protect them. So that's it for this section. Let's move on to the next. All right, the next section that's in the pantry, or subsection, if you will, is vinegar and oil. And I finally this week actually decided these go like in kind of the condiment section of jars of things. So I went ahead and I have my own vinegar, apple scrap vinegar, that's on its way to becoming vinegar. Right now it's kind of in an alcohol type of state. In the pantry, cool, dark place. It takes a long time to make your own vinegars. So I have some organic apple cider vinegar, or raw, with the mother. So this is a 5 gallon bucket of that. I did red vinegar. the white wine vinegar. They were out of the Azure organic brand, so I ended up just switching up the brands. It was actually on sale, so I saved a little bit of money buying the one that was in stock. And then the gallon of balsamic vinegar. As far as oils for this round went, we did some coconut oil. We did a 1 gallon. And I am doing this palm fruit shortening. Well, I'm gonna try it. I've read the benefits of it in comparison to some of the other things, so I'm gonna try it in baking and maybe fry with it and see if this is worth going this direction or if it's something that we can tolerate, you know, taste-wise, those sort of things, or texture. I don't really know, never tried it, but I went ahead and put it on the list and got it in this 4-pound to give it a shot. Give it a shot for the first time. So these go in that section of the pantry, oil and vinegars. Let's move on to the last 2 sections. All right, the next section is grains or wheat, if you will. This bag is broken open. Look, you just pull the wheat berries out, and it spilled some of it. So I'm gonna stick it on the scale. I'm gonna know how much of it got spilled. I'm gonna let Azure know what happened, and then Azure does a really good job of crediting you like a percentage of the bag or the whole product. If it were a total loss, they would refund you this whole product. So this here is a soft white wheat. Even though it spilt a little bit, it's still good. We can store this. A soft white wheat is something you're going to want to make those breads and pastries out of. Underneath is a hard white wheat. So I tried to buy the red wheats. They were completely sold out of that when my order processed. I don't know where they're at today, but I couldn't get any red wheat, so white only today. These 2 are a Durham wheat, so 25 pounds, so that's 50 pounds, 50 pounds, 50 pounds. So 200 pounds in wheat berries. So the Durham is, when you grind it, it's called semolina flour, which is what you make pasta out of. I want to be prepared for when the chickens start laying. With the pasta having such a shortage on it, I can get the Durham wheat right now. I can grind this into semolina flour. I can use my eggs, and we can make egg noodles, different kinds of pasta, and then store it for a super long time. You can make a whole year's worth of pasta. So that is in preps for that, getting what I need ahead of time, not last minute, while it's available and while there's plenty of it to stock. So the other 2, grains, or I'll consider them grains, are quinoa. So we have black quinoa and white quinoa, 5 pounds of each of those. I'm trying to switch and use this quite a bit more frequently now that Aaron's going to be home full time. He has gout really bad. Like, it went into his ankle this last week or so, and he ended up having, in the middle of a work day, to go to the hospital to get a medication. They had to give him a shot for it. It's really bad. And I read online, and if you have any tips or tricks for that, I know that's totally off subject, but quinoa is a good thing to add into someone's diet, so they say, who has gout. And this would be something that would easily, I like it with vinegar and oil and some grilled vegetables, and make kind of like a side dish or a summer salad. I also like it with chicken or fish or beef over top of it. So I like it a lot of different ways. I'm gonna try and incorporate this quite a bit more and see if we can't help get him out of some of the pain that he's in. So I did 2 5-pound bags of quinoa. Let's move on to the last section. You ready? All right, final section. This is the corn section. So I have a 50-pound bag of just whole yellow corn. This is not the animal feed. This is for human consumption. It was cheaper to do this, and you can grind and separate corn into 3 things. When you grind corn, you first or second, you get cornmeal, which is that fine ground corn that you make cornbread out of. You get grits as you sift through. It's like a 3-sift process, but you grind it, sift it. And then the third thing is scratch, which is actually something you feed to the chicken. So it's the leftover waste part of the corn. It is way cheaper if you can get a grinder and have the ability to do corn that way. It is way cheaper to buy full corn than it is to buy grits and cornmeal. Second of all, the grits and the cornmeal have a very short shelf life in comparison to the whole kernel corn. So this can be stored really long time in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and have no issues. So we're gonna try and go that route, grind these things as opposed to buying everything pre-ground. The next thing we got was just some yellow popcorn. Popcorn is a great snack. Again, it's easy. Like, you can take it camping. If you're going camping and taking cast iron pans, something like that, you can have it. It's wonderful, wonderful treats. We did yellow popcorn. We did a little white popcorn. It's more expensive, but it's a nice break. And then we did some whole blue corn. If you watch Jessica from 3 Rivers Homestead, she grinds her blue corn and actually makes her cornbread and stuff like that out of it. So she was kind of my inspiration on the whole blue corn. I got that because of her. And then this I just got for fun, not necessary, but it's a white cheddar popcorn seasoning. If you're gonna have this amount of popcorn, let's have a little bit of white cheddar powder. So I'm gonna store away some of this in Mylar, but again, should this go in the freezer, or just Mylar bags, or what's the best way of actually storing this? But it'll be so nice when the kids are here, and great cheap snack. So popcorn, and that is our final section. Okay, now I'm gonna grab the totals and tell you what happened with the shipping costs this time. Hang on just a second, let's get right into that. All right, I pulled it up. So total items ordered, total cases was 24. Total weight was 676.92 pounds. Total cubic, so with shipping, they look at how much like space in the trailer or the shipping container, whatever they're moving it in. You take up, and I took up 17.51 feet with a 3 above it. So I don't know, must be like, not just like flat square feet, but yeah, you know what I mean, right? Okay, so my total, before my Azure cash or credits, you get kind of, every time you order certain things, you get kind of Azure cash. So my total before my Azure cash was $1,265.38. The shipping though has gone up to, I got this letter here. I'm just gonna tell you, bear with me, my phone's not cooperating. Okay, so as a note, AFF, which is who ships it to us, has increased their fuel charge to 37%. 37%. So my portion of the entire Azure order for everyone, well, let's look at it this way. The entire shipping for everyone that ordered Azure this month in this go round was $1,208, so $1,208.89. Of that, $301.69 belonged to me. So that puts our Azure total over $1,500 in order to get this amount of stuff. So I've got to kind of go through this week, add that shipping cost in to the total and figure out with the fuel prices, are some of these items still the best way to get it through Azure? I don't know, I'll keep you posted. And then the other question becomes, can I get these items in Alaska some other way for less? Because of course, if I can get these good organic beans for less in Alaska without paying the shipping price, I'm gonna have to do that for my family. It's what's responsible. But obviously, like, even Costco doesn't have garbanzo beans and the different kinds. They sell pinto and they sell black. That's all I've ever seen there dried. I don't know. Let me know kind of what your thoughts are on all of that. As we close out, I promised I would show you a little chunk of my pantry as far as where the beans and stuff go. So join me with that, and then I'll say goodbye for this video. Hang on just a sec here. Hang on. Here we go. All right, I gotta get on a step stool. But if you remember, this is the baking section of the pantry. And then this I just kind of mentioned the other day was like rice and beans and stuff. And I'm gonna show you what I keep at the ready in the mason jars in order to get to this stuff immediately. All right, and this first row is rices. I literally just use the rest of this. I, of course, have plenty down to refill. So long grain white rice. We have this how do you say that? And then some jasmine rice. So I do 3 kinds of rice in there. This is the white bean section. So we have black-eyed peas, we have baby lima beans, we have navy beans. This whole chunk is pinto beans because we eat a lot of those. All red beans, green split peas, brown lentils. Now we have red ones. Who's excited about that? And then black beans. And so I'll just kind of go through here and maybe lower the amount of pintos that are here or so on, and add some of those other beans into this section. It's kind of my husband's crutch. Some homemade jams and jellies and some cowboy candy. So I'm about to use the last of this juice to make some jerky, but here we go. So this is panko and breadcrumbs. These are pastas, so we have egg noodles, different kinds. I just label them with pasta because always changing out what we can find, so on. So 2 rows of pasta. These are different flours or grains. So some einkorn, some whole wheat flour. Then I have some more rice. This is basmati rice. We have some malto meal, some cream of wheat, some different corn products up here, some whole kernel popcorn, and then some quinoa. Anything along those lines is kept here. We keep overflow pastas in the top because they take up space. But that is it. That's the section, because believe it or not, these don't go very far. These go super far, so I don't have to keep as much of that out in our pantry. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this video, or you're curious anything that we're doing here on the homestead, we invite you, we ask you, would you join us? Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you get notifications by giving us a thumbs up on this video, leaving comments in the comment section below. Actually, all those things help the YouTube algorithm, and they help our channel grow. Well, we hope here from our homestead to yours that you have a super blessed week. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. Let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, anything like that, and we will talk to you soon.